This video is for beginner scripters in Horizon worlds, or specifically for those who are not familiar with coding but want to move towards creating awesome scripted worlds like these in Horizon worlds. My personal bio and links to related videos and resources will be in the description of this video. With that, let's get started. This video will be broken into the following sections. What are send events? How to send parameters to other events, how to cancel send events, and finally, I'll give you your assignment that's designed to get you comfortable creating and using send events in your scripts. What are send events? Send events are a way to initiate or start an event without relying solely on the actions of the player or objects in the world. They also allow for communication between two different scripts. Think of send events like a line of dominoes. Some action in the world starts the first domino to fall, like a player grabbing an object. And send events allow you to trigger or start additional events that you may want to initiate after the first event. Like one domino tells the next domino, hey, it's your turn to fall. If you've watched my scripting, what is it video, you know the 3 questions that we need to answer to have a working script. A send event counts as an answer to the second question, what action do we do? So technically, you could have a single task script that only sends an event, like this. Going back to the domino analogy, usually dominoes fall one after the other. With the standard send event block, this is the same case. If you use a send event like this, it will happen immediately, as in so fast that it looks like it happens at the exact same time, but there is a slight processing delay. Now, because the events happen so quickly, you must remember that the order they are stacked in the scripting window is the order in which the dominoes will fall. This goes for all actions in scripting. The order in which you place your action blocks within an event determines the order the action is carried out. That's an important thing to remember, so if you're taking notes, I'd write that one down. Conversely, event order within the script window doesn't matter, but for easy to read scripts, I recommend putting them in order that you'd expect them to play out in your world. If I were to use a standard send event to knock over dominoes, it would look like all the dominoes fell at once because of how fast the server processes a send event, like within 0.001 or some other tiny increment of a second, so fast that your eyes can't track it. Okay, let's say you don't want the next domino to fall in the same exact moment after the previous domino. You want it to happen slower so you can visually see the gap in time from one action to the next. No problem. We can just use the code block send event with delay. Like the name says, it's a send event, but you have the option to pause or wait before sending it and causing the next domino to fall. Think of the delay like allowing that time your eyes need to see the actions happen one after the other. The other great thing about send events is that you can use them to send information to other events or scripts, which brings us to our next section, how to send parameters to other events. Okay, send events with parameters are like a game of telephone where the message actually makes it to the other end without being all distorted. So with a send event containing parameters, I can send a message in the form of a variable to another object that has its own script and logic that will run when it gets the message. Why is this so powerful? Because this allows you to write your scripts more efficiently. Instead of trying to have one script run everything in your world, you can have multiple scripts that talk to each other and will know what to do depending on the messages they receive. I used send events in this world I made early in my scripting journey that used send events to tell the scanner what it just scanned. Essentially, the scanner says, "Hi object, I just scanned you. What are you?" Then the object replies and says, "Oh, hi, I'm a space plant." Then the scanner displays what it learned from the object for the player to see. Let's take a look at a simplified script of that scenario. Here we see a single task event. When collision with object occurs, send an event to that object. So the send event is going to the object the scanner has collided with. Notice the object from the collision event isn't a variable, but a value input that is automatically recorded when the collision event occurs. So as long as the object the scanner scans has its own script that's ready to receive the event we sent, then the object can communicate back to the scanner. This means the scanner could interact with a world full of objects without you having to create variables for each one of them on the scanner itself. An important thing to remember about receiving a send event: the receiving event has to be a customized event with the same event name and value input types in the when event received line. Think of it like an electrical cord and the outlet it plugs into. The number of holes have to match or you can't plug it in. Same concept here. If the event you send doesn't match the when event received, then the objects won't speak to each other. Notice I said the value input types must match, not value input names. The names can be different, but if the types differ, the message won't make it. Though for ease of use, I'd go ahead and use similar names when possible. The script on the scan object needs to send back information once it receives the message from the scanner, so I can load a send event with up to 3 variables into the parameter slots to act as my message. If the receiving event on the scanner has those 3 types as parameters, then the messages should be successfully received. The message gets back to the scanner and the scanner displays it. This all happens in what seems like an instant because I'm using the standard send event. Now that we can send events, let's look at how to stop them. How to cancel send events. With all these events flying around, is there ever a scenario where you need to stop sending them? Yes. If you ever want to make a loop, a send event is necessary, and a way to stop that loop is also important. To create a loop, you simply add a send event of the same name and parameters to an event, like so. Then each time the event runs, when it gets to that send event, it will replay itself. Word of caution: when working with loops, it's best to create a loop that you can stop when it's not in use. Otherwise, you run the risk of slowing down the performance of your world. Think going from broadband to dial-up. Does anyone remember dial-up? Yeah, that bad. Anyway, back to canceling sends. Let's say we create a loop with a send with delay and need it to stop once a player picks up an object. We can use the grab event and then put the block cancel send with delay block. Notice there's no number input, only an object. All we have to do is select the event we want to cancel and which object the event was being sent to. So now, the loop is stopped. You can use this for other scenarios too, like if you create a return script that puts objects back where they started, you can stop that return or cancel the send if the object is in use. Now, your assignment. So we learned about send events, how to send them with parameters, and how to cancel them. Now your assignment. I want you to set up your own send events from one object to another. See if you can make one object tell another object to do something based on what is sent. If it helps, think of one object as the remote control and the other object as the receiver. Consider the things you could make that have that relationship dynamic. Remember, this will mean both objects need to have their own script and that the remote will have to have a way of knowing what object it's talking to. getting ahead. I mentioned loops and cancel sends with delays, but not about the method of stopping a send without using the cancel code blocks. If you watched my variables video, you will know one variable can act as an on-off switch. Knowing that, you should be able to use that variable type, an if block, and a set2 block to create an alternate way to stop and start a loop. Learning scripting is all about building on what you've learned and seeing if you can figure out how to use different blocks together in different ways. The best way to get ahead is to do this frequently and make notes on what you discover. That brings us to the end of this video. Since you made it to the end, please leave a like, and if you'd like to see more videos like this one, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you'll know right away when a new video goes up. Thanks, and see you in Horizon.